What's up again, guys? Yo, it's me, your friendly neighborhood Dovaki. And welcome back to Baldur's Gate 3 Early Access. And before we begin, be sure to hit on the subscribe button for more great videos. Alright, I'm sure you're wondering, what the fuck happened to my voice? Why did I become a bot? This text-to-speech voice was the one I used before, when I was starting out in YouTube with my Lineage 2 Revolution videos, back in 2017. But occasionally when I have problems with my voice, hoarseness to be exact, this TTS voice is my answer, in order to continue producing vids. So, yes, my voice right now is quite under the weather. And obviously, since we're still in the middle of a pandemic, I have to be extra careful. Thus, I'm giving it all the rest it needs. By the way, just bear with it for the meantime. 'Cause I'm sure you'll find this voice hilarious, especially when it laughs. Ha ha ha. Anyway, in the previous vid, we won a battle against mutated turkeys, at the Suso tree, in the Dread Hollow, in absolute perfection. We then got the tree's bark in order to finish the Masterwork weapon quest. The weapon I chose to enchant with silence was a great sword, and this will be my weapon of choice for this next fight. But before that, back in episode 21, when I saved Balin, the mushroom picker and Dareth's husband, I missed to feature a couple of notable items. Not far from where Balin was stranded, there's a skeleton, which holds the explorer's ring. And, just a few steps away from that as well, you can find a noble stalk. The mushroom that Dareth is searching for, and the reason why the couple is here in the Underdark. However, if you give it to her, she tells you that they'd be leaving soon, and the dialogue option to trade with her will disappear. But don't worry. Just click on the trade button at the bottom left corner, to barter with her, normally. Okay. Today we're here at the south of the Underdark, near the fort. The place where I first landed. And we're in, for another showdown. Mind you, this is, by far, the most difficult fight. We're up against a spectator. The same thing that is sealed inside the Iron Flask, as per the Zentreme's The Missing Shipment quest. Before we go into battle, besides clearing the path of explosive torch stalks, you can choose to preemptively bash the shit out of the several petrified drow in this area. 'Cause the spectator can unpetrify, and charm them to fight under its command. However, I'm not doing that. I want a challenge. But don't worry, 'cause I'm not going in outgunned. I brought along my tank, the Bullet, and it's already parked over there. This helmet has the same stats as the common one. But it looks like the shadow of Menzoberranzan, Ranzan, the one I got in the last episode. Alright. My squad is already set. But not for an ambush. I'm gonna meet this head on. 'Cause there's no way to get the upper hand in this fight. Once you cross this line, the spectator will suddenly appear, and inevitably surprise you. And it's so unfair. 'Cause it can do so many actions in just one turn. You just have to hold tight and hope that your squad will survive, once its barrage is over. Albeit that is the case. I will not come unprepared. I'll use a few pre-fight buffs to improve my chances. By the way, as I've mentioned earlier, Lae'zel is packing the silencing Susur Greatsword. Also, as per the line is concerned, even though the bullet is parked across that line, it does not trigger the fight. Only your actively selected character can trigger the battle once that line is crossed. Okay, let's do this.
communication ray. Someone addled that spectator.
Now we can destroy the remaining petrified drow with a bludgeoning weapon, for 50 EXP each. Alright. Follow me as I feature 3 notable items nearby.
A resupply stash. I wonder if Lolth's pets left anything good.
As per armor class, this light armor is inferior to Star's studded leather +1. But it has a bonus on stealth. However, you don't really need that in this game. Just learn to avoid the enemy's sight cones and you're good. Even my wizard can be stealthy for Christ's sake. So, there's no need to replace the studded leather +1. The next item on the other hand, can easily be accessed by taking the path westward from the south of the Myconid colony. And I should have featured that in the previous vid. Anyhow, from this point, you need to jump across to the opposite cliff. And I will facilitate that with a feather fall spell, to avoid fall damage. For a sneak attacking character like Star, as its name implies, this short sword should be overpowered.
It's Ali!
Okay. Now let's head towards the Festering Cove. And the way is via that cragged rock over there. By the way, I've dismissed Glut for the meantime. 'Cause he can't go in there. The cove is considered to be outside of the Underdark. But technically it should be a part of it. Right. Anyway, again, there are torch stalks along the way. So, you should clear them out. This is the third notable item. And I think this would have been useful in the fight against the Spectator earlier. But we're done with that, so let's just move on. These menfish seem to be worshipping something. And, if you investigate further, you'll find out that their god Buwal, pertaining to the god of murder, Baal, is actually just a red cap in disguise. Same as the creatures that I defeated back in episode 13 at the Putrid Bog. However, you don't really need to expose the red cap's true identity to the gullible fish people. You can just kill them all, which is what I'm gonna do. 'Cause the red cap will demand you to become sacrifice anyway. Alright, my team is set up. And half of it, Lae'zel and Shadow, will be on the front line to receive and contain the aggro. While my main and Star will go in for the ambush later. Anyhow, take note of how I use my character select tactic, in order to cast pre-fight buffs. Also, Star is now wielding the short sword of First Blood that we got earlier, for his opening attack.
Blood to fill your oceans, O blessed Boal. Our bones to build your temple in the deep.
A wave of pure devotion washes over you, and with every surge, you feel a presence grow in response.
Word, priest! Promises! Your god wants proof! Wants blood!
These beings are Kuatoa, former Gake playthings that manifest their gods through sheer belief.
You, our Lord of Murder, demands sacrifice. You will be an offering for the great god Boal.
Fronte nulla fides. Massive. take you.
I'm gonna put his +1 rapier back on. Cause the enemy is already damaged. And that's how you make things easy. This is the only notable item in this area. And its stats is just the same with your typical sickle. However, although it isn't explicitly indicated in the description, this weapon gives you the Buwal's Benediction buff, which gives you an advantage when attacking bleeding targets. But the buff doesn't appear as well. I haven't tested it though, and no plans to test it really. Cause overall, this weapon is still crap anyway. Ha ha ha. And that's all there is for now. Thanks for watching. Also, check out other videos from Sabbath Clan Philippines, and don't forget to subscribe. See ya on my next vid. Peace out yo.